Hey guys, I'm Lacey.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this is Women in the Trailer Industry. So today we're going to be talking about if you're going to be taking an extended leave, what does prep look like for that? So Caitlin, just start off by telling us, it's been a long time since you've had an extended leave, but from the side of being here when somebody else leaves and being kind of like the leader of the whole team, what are some things that you look for that you need in that?
So my biggest questions are, what am I going to do? So, what are my responsibilities going to be? What do I need to check on? What do I need to take off the plate? Because I still want it to be good for everyone too, So, and then how to mesh that into my current schedule. So I'm already like, okay, if I'm taking over, meetings, putting that in my schedule so I don't flake on those, and just trying to be multiple things to multiple people. And then also trying to get a game plan together. Okay, if I'm not going to be able to do this well, who can I delegate it to? And then kind of go from there. So my questions, rely heavily on what new responsibilities are going to be taken on. And if someone has a question, they would normally ask you, who do they go to? And so that's going to be one of the biggest questions, right?
So what are some things that you do kind of to prep the person leaving? So these are the questions you're going to ask them, but like, do you remind them, hey, I still need this before they leave? Or like, what are some things? Because I know that person, I am this person very soon, gets tied up in like, what do I need to get done for my team? That what the most important thing is like somebody, whoever you're delegating to your responsibilities knows what are those responsibilities. Yeah. So, what are
probably equally as important,
Yeah. So, do you just remind this person or?
So I would imagine it as if, what if by next week you were not here? Mm-hmm. So I guess as it gets closer to crunch time, it's like, hey, I need this as early, even the working model of it.
Right.
And then ask that like the higher level responsibilities be outlined so that if you were out tomorrow, that the general direction can be taken and then evolved, because what you don't want to happen is things be changed from your intentions and then you have to come back and change it all again. Right. So those higher level responsibilities be written out and then kind of give a deadline on that, as we're approaching your leave, you have a deadline and whatnot because you don't know. Right. So, just getting those written out, and it can still be a work in progress, but at least the higher level ones, written out before you do go, in my past experience, control problem, right? Like who can you have to do all the things and whatever. And so at some point, you kind of, which you're much more prepared on this than I was, you just kind of end up doing nothing and you're just like, I'll figure it out, Yeah. That's the worst way to be. Don't do that.
And we've learned over the years too.
Yep. And I think we have a bigger group now to help with all those responsibilities. I was pulling something for the Inc. 5000 the other day, and in 2019, we had 11 people. Oh, and then and at the end of 2021, I believe it was 21. And I'm like, wow, you just don't think about that. Yeah. That was not that long ago, and we only had 11.
We almost doubled in 1 year too. And I think it is good to know that you do have multiple people. So like when we did have a smaller group or team, it was kind of like there was no questioning who you left it with because it was going to fall on your plate. Like you were just going to have to take that over. And I feel like we were way less prepared. So like when something came up, it just was like day to day, you're just going to figure out what somebody comes to you with, this other person's daily question. you just figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And now you can kind of prep so that it is exactly what you said, so that not only the questions can be answered and the support can be there, but also you don't come back into a situation where stuff has completely changed because everybody had to punt.
Yeah.
They all had to just figure it out,
Yeah.
you know? And so they had no idea what your basis was or why you did the things you did the way you did it. So for me, I think it's really important, like what you said about, go ahead and send your working model, right? Mm-hmm. So get some stuff down high level and go ahead and send that, and it be a working doc that you update. That's helped me. Just, that's what I told myself last night when I was sending it. Cause I was like, just send it. Like, it's never going to be perfect. It's every day I'm going to add to this, but as long as it's a working doc, they have the basis of what needs to be looked at every day and so things don't drop and so things get covered the way that I would like them to be covered.
Yeah. And I think on a team level, you know, when you're talking, I was thinking about, you know, sales team meetings and whatnot. It goes also back to, hey, you know, I will definitely be different than what Lacey was like, but give a little grace. We'll work through it. If you have an issue, let me know, you know, but this is how it's going to roll. Right. And so also people who are taking over those responsibilities to have that freedom to kind of decide, but then also your team has to understand that it's not a long-term change and that things will go back to, you know, how you set them up. And even once you have time away, they might change. You may have some epiphanies about how you're leading and, you know, how you're structuring things, because you actually get a moment to like think. And I know we don't like to think about work when we're on that extended leave, maternity leave, but you know, it gives you a moment to think, and your work basically is your life. So you're going to think about it. I promise you, because you're going to be like, I cannot sit here and just do nothing, you know?
Exactly.
So, and have no mental, stimulation. So that's what you're going to be thinking about, how to make it better and stuff. So,
and I think that also plays into some of our core values, like being transparent, letting your team know, like, you may not do it the same way that I do it, but you guys are going to do it the best way that y'all get through it, and also being adaptive. So the team has to be adaptive to being able to be resilient to change, and knowing that job still has to get done. And really the job doesn't change for any of their parts, but everybody leads differently.
Yeah.
And so just being open to that and flowing and jiving and getting into the rhythm of that too. So,
yep. And for me, it's kind of like, I know what I would probably think going into those sales meetings and stuff. My biggest opinion would be just come do your job, do it to the best of your ability, and we'll just go with it. Because I don't want to sit there and micromanage what they're doing, because I don't need to, you know, they know what they need to do and everything like that. So.
And I think too, that's a good thing to bring up too, because, you know, you being the president of the company, what they're going to see coming into the meeting is, yes, you're sitting in for me, but oh crap, our main boss is here. Yeah. So just like being open to saying that, like just to let them know that, you know, so that they know what's happening.
And that's hilarious to me, because I wouldn't even thought about that. Because I don't necessarily see it that way, but it is to like put that out there, you know. And I think how our meetings are designed now, that's less likely to happen, because as long as everyone's hitting their metrics and hitting what they need to hit, then there's no issue, right? Of course, if sales sinks as soon as I take over, you know, we got a problem. But
which also shouldn't happen, because if you have your structure set up and if they know what you expect of them, you not being here shouldn't change anything.
Yep.
Everything
so I definitely
should flow.
think it'll be fun. I personally don't think it'll be too much different. It'll just basically be me like filling the spot, not trying to give too much of my like changing input, but trying to stay with the flow. So I feel like there's going to probably be more freedom while you're out, you know, than if you were here. You know, you have a structure, how you like to do things like that.
For sure.
But I don't have that structure, so I'm going to be like, did you do it? Great. You know, these are where we can improve. Let's go, you know.
Love it.
So, yeah, just really those high level responsibilities and trying to figure those out. And then, you know, the freedom to decide how you make that happen, because it's not going to be the same as you imagine it.
And then if you're on the other side, if you are the one taking the leave, make sure that you do get those in, even if it's just a working document, get those into whoever you're leaving that responsibility with. And really just prepping your team to know nothing's changing. They're still doing, nothing's changing about their job.
Yeah.
And also don't wear yourself out trying to get all the things. Because like I said, if you've already structured it and laid it out well, there shouldn't be a ton of things that have to be handed out before you leave for it to run. It should be running. So just keep that in mind. Don't put extra stress on yourself for that. So.
And I think the most important, for you as prep is, and we had a discussion about this not too long ago, is, what decisions do people have the ability to make, and give them that guideline, but then
empower them.
Free game, you don't necessarily not care, but you don't have to make that decision, and they can, as long as it falls in some kind of financial budget and everything else, roll on. So just having all that laid out and, shared with your team, the expectations that you have while you're out. And then for the people who are taking care of you, your expectations, like if you want to see some kind of results from me, we need to know that as well.
Make it clear.
So,
yeah. For sure. Yeah. So that's basically all we had today for you guys. Thanks for being here.
Yep. Like us, subscribe anywhere you watch your podcast, on YouTube, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. And then also catch Juan Hernandez with Full Send. He has a weekly podcast as well. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Women in the Trailer Industry merch, ttpomedia.com.
So Women in the Trailer Industry, check out our merch at womeninthetrailerindustry.com/merch. Just womeninthetrailerindustry.com, and you'll see all the merchandise there. So enjoy.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.